AM show.
Anyway, leading a team can be a challenge, but it is a rewarding experience. But are our leaders well equipped? The author of You Don't Need an MBA, Alicia McKay, joins us now. Alicia, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Nice to have you on the program.
Good morning.
I always thought you did need an MBA.
Oh, no.
Because it was the thing to do, wasn't it?
It's on the cover of the book, Duncan.
It was the thing to do. You need an MBA to be a leader. It's crap, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that made a lot of sense when your value was all about what you knew. You know,
Yes.
back in the olden days when we didn't have the internet and it was like...
When was the olden days? That's pre-what?
Oh, yes.
Pre-1990.
I'm quite young, so let's go pre-1990.
Okay.
And it was like, well... Let's go to university because that's where all the knowledge is.
Oh.
And so if you go there, because they're hoarding it, if you go and pay a whole lot of money, you can have some. And then when you go to work, you can lord that knowledge you've got over everyone else who doesn't have it. And it was a good model that worked then. We now live in an age where information is so accessible, right?
Yes.
Like you want some expertise, you want to find out how to do some finance or some marketing, like hit Google, you'll know in 10 minutes. What we don't teach people and what you're not going to get from heading into university is what do you do when COVID hits and your whole business model's irrelevant? What do you do when you've got to lead people through technological change in a rapid...
Oh, I love this. I love this subject because you're so right. The skills that you get now are outside of university. Life
Totally.
skills, real skills, you know?
Yeah, and it's things like, I think what makes it particularly challenging, and we're seeing this now around top tables and with politicians, is there's skills we assume people have because they're in a senior leadership position.
Yes.
Like, oh, you must have great judgment if you're at the top table. No one's ever taught you how to make decisions or what it is
Well,
that
no
makes
one's
a
seen
good
a
decision.
CV, no one's seen their record at all.
No, that's right.
Arguably.
Totally. And the idea that if you've stuck some letters after your name or you've spent 3 years sitting in a lecture hall learning something somebody decided 30 years ago is going to make you well equipped to take people on a journey with you. Does it make sense?
Not that you'd know because you've never done one, but what does an MBA teach you?
Look, an MBA teaches you a lot of really useful stuff. And I think if you are heading into a business position and you've never been in that role before, so if you're in academia or if you want to change industries or move countries and you've got time and money, go for it. I think if you want to learn things like how to optimise a supply chain and how to write a great essay and how to balance a balance sheet, great. You should absolutely do an MBA.
But go out there and work, otherwise you'll pick up all the skills.
Well,
Because you
yeah.
only learn through the failures. I mean, I know you say this a lot, Mark, but it's so true that all the victories I've ever had, I've learned nothing from. But all the losses, man, I felt them and I learned from them.
What's that saying? You learn or you win? You win or you learn?
See, this is why I love trades, because trades, you learn exactly what you need for the job, you know, and you're getting paid while you do it. Now, one of the things when I was looking in your research, you're all about asking better questions.
Yeah.
Talk us through that. Why is that so important, and how do you ask a better question?
Well, speaking to that point around knowledge, how your value no longer lies in what you know. In fact, what you know can be a barrier now because if you learned it 20 years ago or you were on the tools 5 years ago and you're not anymore, what you know now gets in the way. And so it's the idea that if things are changing as quickly as they are, your capacity to ask really good questions and to figure out what you're not seeing and what other people are seeing that you're not and what the alternatives are, what other people are doing, that's where you actually start to make progress. If you need to learn how to take everyone home or go online because we've had a pandemic hit, well, you can't draw on your pre-existing knowledge for that. It's never happened before. So are you able to ask great questions?
Flexible, nimble.
I love what you're saying because I think there's a real problem with over-credentialisation, which is just becoming a money-making venture for the universities now. But I see it in sport. I'm going to use a sporting analogy where some people just assume, the best bowler, the best batsman, the best rugby player will therefore make the best coach.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It's often the person who... You don't have to be the best at everything to be able to enable the best to achieve.
Oh, totally. And it's a problem, right? Like if you work for a boss who's been doing the job that you're doing for a long time and they're great at it, that's an absolute pain in the ass because they think they know everything. They're trying to micromanage what you're doing. What you want is someone who's really good at getting the best out of people, who knows what's going on out there in the big wide world and can help make it relevant to your life.
Change. It's been the whole thing we've learned all these years. You've got to be adaptable to change.
Totally.
And we're changing now. I've got to go. Nice to see you,
That was
Alicia
smooth.
McKay. Can you leave the book with me? Is that possible?
Absolutely. Here
Very
you go.
kind of you. Thank you very
All
much.
yours.
It's nice.
Can we
Thank
maybe
you
get you
so
to
much.
sign it and we could maybe give it away?
Yeah, you could do that.
Give us
Yeah.
a message in there or something.
go
Message in a bottle. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well said. You're very welcome. 3 away from 8. What we'll do, the news is coming up next, and then COVID-19 Minister Chris Hipkins joins us as our vaccine deliveries appear to ramp up. That's great news. Good morning.
So many tears we cried.